I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Romeo Downtown Development Authority for Monday, November 9th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Can we rise and do the pledge, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Lisa, can you do the roll, please?
Humphries?
Here.
Poznanski?
Here.
Malzahn? Here. Carr?
Here.
Rose?
Here.
Stevens is absent and excused. Brandt is absent and excused. Hayes?
Here.
Mr. Parker?
I'm here.
All that, well, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Next up, we have public forum. Anybody in the audience today? No, just here to watch? Thank you. Can we get an approval of the agenda, please, as presented?
Motion to approve the agenda.
I have a motion by President Malzahn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Rose. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, we have an approval of the minutes. There's a few that we have to go through here, so I'll just do these one by one. Up first, we have the August 3rd, 2020 closed session meeting minutes. That's going to be the blue sheet that you guys received. So if we could get a motion to approve those minutes first, then we'll move on.
Motion to approve the August 3rd closed session meeting minutes.
I have a motion by Poznanski. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Parker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, we have the October 5th informational meeting minutes. That was the one that we were required to host. We didn't have an audience, but we do need an approval on the minutes for that. I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by President Malzahn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Parker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up is the regular meeting from that night, the October 5th, 2020 meeting. That is in front of you here. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Parker. Do I have a second?
Support.
Second.
Second by Poznanski. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And last but not least, the October 14th, 2020 special meeting. The minutes are here. We have a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll motion.
I have a motion by Humphries to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Parker. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right, that gets us through the approval of the minutes. Next up, we have Carol Humphries with the Treasurer's Report.
Okay, it's the report that goes long ways or wide. We paid for holiday lighting, we paid for dues to the chamber, we paid for the ribbons for the holiday thing, I bought some postage, we paid the last watering contract payment, we paid for our rent at the Village for last year and this year, and then we paid the first payment on the holiday lighting that they'll do right after Thanksgiving. We paid 2 paychecks and the payroll taxes. So that all comes to $20,028.52.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
I have a motion by President Malzahn. Do I have a second?
Support.
Second by Poznanski. Lisa, will you do a roll, please?
Malzahn?
Yes.
Poznanski?
Yes.
Parker,
Yeah.
Humphreys,
Yes.
Tar,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Okay, the
Motion
only
carries.
other thing is to note is that we did receive the millage money from the village in the amount of $15,888. Oh, no, that's a total amount. Well, it's the difference of we had $150 as a donation from the New Baltimore Lions. They wrote their check to Glenn for $150 made out to the Romeo DDA, and Glenn just gave it to us as a thank you for all the work we've done.
What was that for?
It was something he did with the New Baltimore Lions, and they had written the check to the Romeo DDA, so he just gave it to us rather than getting it rewritten for $100, $150. So the millage that we got was $15,735.21, if you subtract the difference.
Can we send like a thank you note or something like that? Is that something?
I can't hear.
Okay, I was just going to say, like, suggesting to send a thank you note or something for the donation.
That would be nice.
Yeah, we have cards still, right, Lisa?
Yeah, we do.
Is that 15,000 pretty consistent each year?
I'm sorry.
Is that 15,000 pretty consistent each year?
That's the millage.
Right, is that,
That's that 1.967% that,
so we see that every year about that same amount?
actually, this year it's up a little bit.
Okay.
But it's anywhere from 13, 15, that area. If anybody wants to see any of the bills, I do have them here.
Carol, did you receive the bill from the village offices for the DDA rent? You know, we were in arrears on that, probably because the invoice was never generated.
He generated me an invoice for $50. I called him and we talked, and I said, I'll just write you a check because I owed it for the prior year $600 because of when the lease started.
Right.
And so I said, I'm just going to write you a check for $1,200 and it'll cover last year and this year, and we don't have to worry about it till July.
Okay.
And then
It's
I'll
just not
write
on
him
these
another
bills, so you
check.
just haven't gotten around to that yet, that's all, I'm just,
Yeah, it's on here.
Oh, it was?
Check number.
oh, the 1,200, I see it, yeah,
2564.
okay, gotcha. Okay. We did just get check-in for delinquent property tax as well. Sherry's just posting
It
it
was only
today.
$200 and some dollars.
Yeah.
I didn't separate it.
She's just posting it, but so that'll be coming whenever she gets around to, finalizing those records.
Okay.
Anything else, Carol? All right, thank you. Next up, Lisa with the DDA Director's Report.
Well, I did all the regular stuff, answered emails, meeting minutes, updated the website. After the last meeting, I talked with, Lisa and Matt and asked them to provide the updates so that we could have the special meeting. They asked if it was approved. I told them we had to hold the special meeting. I got the signatures for the fall lighting contract. Found there's one of the planters behind the office pub, the rectangular ones, is cracked. I don't know if I guess we need to look at it and see if it can be fixed or what needs to happen to it, because it's cracked. It's the side closest to the back of the building. It's cracked all the way down to the bottom. It hasn't came around to the other side yet, so I don't know if there's something that can be done with it or not. Not sure.
That's one that's just kind of like on that.
They're on that thing, and I think they get,
Okay.
I think they get ran into a lot. I contacted 2 engineering firms for the services to find out about the poles. I want to contact one other one. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a lot of money. So, I don't know if we want to put it out for bid, or do we just want to have them send me quotes, or what do you want to do?
What does that work for? I didn't know that when I read it. Might have missed it. For the pole?
You know the poles that are at the end, like down by your office, there's those two poles where the banners hang across the street?
Oh, yeah.
We need to find out if they're structurally sound enough to hold Christmas decorations like we wanted to purchase.
Well, the way the banner whips those poles around, I obviously haven't checked, but I've seen that with those winds come down Van Dyke pretty heavy with the banner on there and those poles.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I don't know how you guys want to do it. I mean, if it's
That's
over a
something
certain
they
amount of
wanna
money, do
get,
you want to do
tested
a?
or have an engineer
Yeah,
give an
ask for a
opinion on
quote,
it.
see if we even need to go out for bid. If it goes over our threshold, then
Right,
I do.
okay. I asked, I talked with Ray, he's got all the flowers out. They've still got to remove the ones, I think they were waiting for the warmer days to be able to pull the stuff out of the pots at the end of the alleys and then behind the office pub. I provided all the information that was requested in the FOIA. I researched FOIA procedures. FOIA procedures are basically the same for everybody. There's not, the state of Michigan tells you how you handle a FOIA. This is the book. I did not print one for everybody. It's 49 pages. I did put the website on here so you can go and look at it. I did create, we can get into that, it's a little further down later. I revised the Christmas lighting contract, took it to Kelly and Lisa and got both of their signatures on it. I went and confirmed that we did get all of our bows. They are all there. Our last box of lights, the last box of bows finally showed up like they were supposed to. Did get all the lights we ordered. Carl picked up the lights at the DPW. I met him there, and they have put a few of the trees up on the buildings. And then I contacted a couple of IT companies to see what it would cost for a new website, to upgrade the website we have, to get a new website, or to just get somebody that can provide us services so that we can all have emails. I did find out that we do own the domain name. So we just need somebody to host the site is what we need.
And who's currently hosting that? The name of the company?
Marcel Cannon.
That's the name of the company, it's just...
I don't know the name of his company, I just know his name, that's
Always been in contact.
that's always been who it was, and he, I email him, and sometimes I get responses back, and sometimes I don't.
Do you know if we were eligible for that grant that went out through Macomb County? I think it's already expired, but there was a grant for like tech where they would, you were awarded up to $10,000 to redo a website or...
Was it for just small business, though?
That's what I don't know. I don't know if we would be eligible, if we would have been eligible or not.
Yeah, I don't know if we would be or not, but, I can always call and ask questions. The worst they can tell me is no.
Lisa, did they give you any idea what kind of money, the engineering firms? You said it wasn't very much, but what are we talking about?
They're talking like $2,500 or less. So I don't know.
And that's just to come look at it and give an opinion?
Let's come
or is
look at it and give you obviously they would have to talk with Tim and find out, what, when were they last done? How deep are they in the ground? What are they, just to see.
I almost feel like we should just skip that part of the process and get a bid on what it would cost to completely replace them at that
Yeah.
point. Save $2,500. And because they already told us once that those decorations aren't going to be able to be put up with that without, they weren't confident in it.
Matt Jarosz was not confident in
Right.
hanging those up there, and he said he would not hang them up there without having an engineer tell him it was okay to hang them.
So,
I think we skip that part of the process and just get a bid for...
couldn't we just get a bid without putting money into it?
Sure, we
Somebody
can
telling
just
us
get a
these are no
bid.
good.
Yeah,
It's a
we
good
can-
point. These,
See how
I don't know
that
how
compares.
old these are, but.
Right, well, I believe Tim said that they redid them like 8 or 10 years ago.
What are they hanging on that's so heavy?
Well, the
The
Christmas
wind.
decorations weigh about 140 pounds apiece, the ones that we wanted to purchase.
It was
and-
just, was it lights and...
It was lights and
Garland,
greens
and it's
garland
it's
and-
made on some sort of stiff. I
And it
don't
goes
know.
across the road?
Yeah.
It would go all the
It's
way
like an
across the
arch
road.
almost.
And it would be lit.
You put up a banner up there across the road, the wind hits it, you got incredible forces there.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
And this is thinner, though. It won't have as much you know,
It
there's
doesn't
holes
have
in
as
it
much
and there's-
resistance, yeah. There's larger
But
holes.
it's way heavier
So
than a
why
banner.
don't you put out a request for a replacement? A request
For the poles?
For the poles.
You could do
I
that.
think that's what we should do.
Are there two sets of these?
There's two
There's one.
sets.
There's one north and one south?
Yes.
And aren't these used for something other than just Christmas? Doesn't the village
Yeah,
use
well,
the?
banner
schedule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I like the idea of, let's just, at no cost, find somebody that wants to bid replacing them.
Yeah, then we at least know what we're looking at. And if it's astronomical, then
Right.
maybe we revisit that conversation, but for now, I think that's the way to go. But Lisa, with that FOIA packet, like, I know I talked to some of the other newer board members, and they haven't received their actual packets. Is that something that can just be added to the new packets and dispersed? I think, because even the old ones, I mean, mine's 6 years old at this point. I feel like there's probably a lot of outdated information in the
Well,
packets.
you mean
Maybe
yeah, I'm working on that. Kelly
Okay, so
wants-
that's
Yeah,
something
Kelly
that's in
asked me to
works.
get those done by the first of the year, so I'm in the process of working on that. What I'm going to include is I will include this FOIA request, and I can try and see if I can shrink this down so that you can see it. I mean, a FOIA request is the same for all entities.
Sure.
It works the same way for everybody.
But we can all, that way, everybody has like an up-to-date, we're all on the same packet, we all have the same information with the bylaws
Yep,
and everything else
yep,
like that.
You'll have everything.
Okay,
Yep, we're working on, or I'm working on them,
great.
so,
Anything else?
no, that'll do it.
All right, thank you.
Oh,
Lisa.
excuse me,
Oh,
I take that back. There is one other thing. I got an email from the DIA and the Inside Out program. They reached out to me and they would like, so what it is, young man's name is Ian. I manage the DIA's Inside Out program for Macomb County and am interested in including Romeo in 2021. Charles Garling, our studio director who worked with you on the public mural last year, suggested that I'd be a good person to talk to. We haven't hosted it since 2016, and he thinks it's time to bring it back. With a lot of uncertainty around indoor activities of the coming year, our outdoor art installations offer a safe alternative to engage with art. The application period had technically ended, but they would like me to submit the application. Probably going to try and get it in by the end of this week. Some of the things, though, and I'm not real sure, I need to find out if anybody knows exactly what events are going to be happening in 2021, because that's one of the questions on the application. So if you guys could email me and let me know of anything that you know of that's going on.
is it during, just for the entire year or certain months?
They usually don't put them up till spring or summer.
Yeah, he won't be putting them up till spring or summer. I don't think the installation is early May, and it goes through late October. So I need
Okay.
any events that are going to be going on early May through late October to put it on the
That's
application.
easier said than done at this point, Lisa. Your
Yeah,
guess
I
is
know.
as good as mine.
I know, that's kind of that's how I felt, but it was like, I thought, well, maybe you guys know something that I'm not
Yeah.
sure of.
No, but
so.
that's great. Maybe, can we put it out there to some of the organizations to just kind of get a gauge on what events are going on, and if anybody has anything slated for 21, just so we have something to fill out submit that application, because I think that's great that they want to bring it back to Romeo. That's always been a good event.
I can't believe it's been that long, though.
I can't either,
Right.
but it
I was
has.
just here.
Feels that way.
And another question, how many images would we like in our community? We can have anywhere from 4 to 10.
I'd have to think about all the places we had before. We had a good amount.
We did have a good
We should
amount.
look at what we did last time, because I
Yeah.
feel like,
I like that
We
they
split
had
it
one
up
down at
pretty
the
good.
Trailhead Park.
Mhm.
Right there. That was a good spot.
And they had one on the side of the Village Hall.
And Village Park.
They had one in the park.
Speedway on the side of the wall.
They had one there, yep.
You
One in
know,
the library.
The condos, the library, so we're already at
Library,
5.
Library, chamber.
there's plenty of good places.
Yeah.
They
Was
had
there
one
one?
at the Speedway.
Is there one on the side of the Masons?
That's what I was wondering. Was there one there?
I don't
I don't
remember.
think so.
Was there one, there was one in Starkweather, wasn't there?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yep.
It's
Was there
in
one
there.
On
We
the Pottery
had,
Barn.
We probably have close to 8 to 10 spots.
That's what I thought. That's kind of what I thought.
okay, yeah, if you could work on that, that would be great. And if
Yeah.
anybody knows of any events, just let Lisa know or reach out to people so we can have a list together.
Yeah, I was rather pleased to see that.
Yeah, and that plaque just went up too, which looks
What do
really
we-
nice on the side of the building.
What do we need to get authorization to put them in new spots? Like, what is required? I was just thinking the side of
There's
Cars
n-
Building might be a good spot.
there's
to
nothing
bring
on
to the
here.
side of
There-
town.
I think they did all that after, once the application was submitted, they picked the winners, and then they came out and they canvassed the community, then they talked, probably sent a letter
So
of,
they choose them.
of release to, wherever they selected the sites.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm sure it's not with the application.
Right. The way it sounds is he says, our application period has technically ended, but I saw a missed opportunity in northern Macomb County. So it sounds to me, and then I just got an email, another one from him today. It sounds to me like we're,
Yeah.
it sounds to me like we're the place that they're going to try and do it.
They
So-
probably want to highlight the mural, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so I would imagine something down there. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Lisa.
Yep.
No funding requests for tonight. Committee reports, crosswalk subcommittee, is there anything to report? No?
Just their application was submitted, so we're just waiting for, he said it could be probably spring.
Oh,
By the
okay.
time that they, SEMCOG reviews all those applications and then picks the winner, so.
Okay. Nothing to report right now. Next, Christmas lights subcommittee, nothing to
Nope.
report there.
Nope.
I know Carl mentioned, did we figure out the, because wasn't there like shortage of garland or something like that?
Garland is very hard to come by.
Okay,
I mean, Lisa and Matt couldn't get us any garland. There was no way. They don't have enough people to cut. They just don't have enough. There's just not enough.
gotcha.
COVID has caused
Shortages?
shortages and,
So what are they putting up in place of the garland?
well, they're putting, no, the
have
garland,
their-
so everything that was in our contract for Christmas decorations is coming and will be
Oh,
installed.
so they have enough for that contract, just not anything over and above?
Right,
Yeah.
so
Got
they're,
it, okay.
right, we can't get anything for any of the businesses. It's
Okay.
just, it's not gonna happen this year. There's
So
just-
is that letter, are we not doing anything with that letter that was
No,
sent
and
out?
Carl is
Everybody's on their own as far as
Right.
decorating?
Yep, Carl is contacting everybody that he contacted. I have
Okay.
contacted everybody that I talked to, with the exception of a couple of people today, and I'm gonna email them when I get home. But everybody, he's gonna contact them, and then there's no way to get it. There's just no way to get it.
Fair enough. All right, next, under unfinished business, FOIA policy, we need to designate a FOIA coordinator.
Right,
apparently.
so
Okay.
the way FOIA works is you designate a coordinator who handles, so any FOIA requests we would receive, for example, would come to me, I would give them to whoever they pertain to. And then we would assemble the information and provide the information. If you look at this form, there's records, I'll look at it on the website, overtime labor costs, requests for discount. Again, you really need to read this book. You can deny a FOIA request, but there has to be reason to deny it.
And that's a decision made by the board or the FOIA director at that point?
I believe the FOIA director can make the initial decision, but then it would be a board, I believe, afterwards. I'm not 100% positive on that one.
Are you able to be
I've
our
never been
FOIA
involved in-
director, or is this something that has to be a board member? Is this a position that our director
I
can do?
believe that Kelly could deny it.
I'm not saying,
So who-
no, I'm saying that the director, the FOIA director itself, could it be you, since
Yes.
you're getting the information?
Yes.
So we could then make a vote today to assign you as the FOIA director?
Yes.
Or otherwise it would be a
Zach,
board
we need a
member?
motion on that.
Right, that's what, but I'm just
Make a
making sure I
motion, we have
understand.
Lisa be our FOIA director.
Well, I just, you can-
Second that.
All right, so we have a motion by Parker, second by Rose, to assign Lisa Hall, the DDA director, as the DDA's FOIA director, or FOIA
Coordinator.
coordinator. Should we do a
Yeah, we do.
roll, just all in
Assumption
favor?
would be we would hear about any requests that come in. There'd be some procedure in there that we would hear about those requests that come in.
Well,
Unless it was all information that was, the only way that I would contact you is if you had information related to that FOIA. If everything was in the office, there would be no need for me to contact you.
Oh, but I think what Greg is asking, is the board going to be made aware of the FOIA request, or
Well, I
is it
can
just
make-
going to be the individuals?
Right, I would make you aware of the request, yes, but.
The
if-
board.
Right, I would make
Okay.
you aware of the request, but if it was all information that was in the office, there would be
Yeah,
no need for
Right.
me to.
So the individual would get it that it pertains to, but the
Right.
board would also be made aware of it at the next regular
Right.
meeting?
Right.
Okay.
I would, in my report, I would say that we got a FOIA request asking for X information.
Okay.
Do we get those often?
No,
Okay.
it's not something,
But it is pretty critical that everybody reads and understands what the
Right.
rules are and how it pertains to you as a sworn-in member.
Right.
Because there's a lot of confusion in what you are and are not obligated to provide.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
And that
Some heavy
information
reading.
will be in our packet, which we'll be getting.
right, I will make copies of this, and I will put it in your packet and get it to you. Like I said, there's,
Everybody's been
and
sworn
it
in
is,
too,
it is
right?
available on the website, and I included that in my report.
Yes, Catherine's sworn in all the new appointees, yep.
Okay.
You got a motion and a second, Zach.
Yeah, do we have to do a roll for this, or can we?
Just
I
all
don't
in
believe-
favor, there's no money.
All in favor, there's no money.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations on your new role.
Oh, I appreciate it.
All right, next up, crosswalk fund, certificate of deposit discussion. Carol, I believe you asked for this to be put on the...
Yeah, what I'd like to do is find a local bank or credit union that would give us a good rate on a CD for at least 1 year, because we know the crosswalks aren't going to be even started until 22, I believe.
There's payment terms that were due with that project, so if we're awarded the grant, then we have to pay upfront for a certain portion. The engineering, we have to pay, roll for all of that. We don't have to pay for the contractor, because obviously we're going to bid all that out once we get the engineering drawing. So it would be in stages. So I wouldn't assume that you have several years before there's any funds
Right,
due.
but we've
I
got
do not
money
know what the
sitting
breakdown
in the
is.
bank accounts that aren't making that much interest.
Right.
And I think it would be a smart thing to put some of our money into a CD.
How much are you thinking?
How much is what?
How much are you thinking, like, would you want to put into the CD?
Well, we currently have $218,000 available. But, we have to pay the rest of the Christmas lighting, and that's, we don't have a whole lot of bills except for payroll for the winter. So I would say we could go, we need 45 for the lights, we need 90 for the crosswalks. That's 135, and that would still leave us quite a bit of money in the account. Plus, we have another close to 50,000 coming from Washington. So I would say if we could get short-term accounts 6 months, maybe 3 of them at 45,000 or at 40,000, or maybe 2 at 50, and
So Treasurer Maddox is in the process of double-checking all the ratings that are out there. So she does fiduciary, research. So she's double-checking all the ratings for all the banks and community credit unions. I would probably just tell you to have a conversation with her to
Sherry?
see where she stands with that, right? And because we're going to move some money too on the village side as soon as she does that work. So she's already done the research. I'd probably just reach out to her and find out where she's
Sure.
finding the best rates, and then make contact with the same, bank personnel.
yeah, because
So-
I'd like to keep money local.
Right, and
I
ours is
agree.
as well.
And I'd like to keep it under 6 months so that it can be renewed.
Right, the village rotates between 3 months and 6 month CDs for the most part, with the exception of our MERS stuff, which is invested somewhere else, but, yeah.
But I wanted permission to move it.
Yeah, it sounds.
You need a motion to move 135,000?
I can't hear you, honey.
You need a motion to move 135 into a CD?
Anywhere from 125 to 35.
Then I would make a motion that Carol be given permission to do that, provided that the lending institution is among the approved list or rated list that the village has.
I'd rather her bring back an option for us. I'd rather her say, you can put it at community driven, you can put it at,
We're
PNC,
just
you can
wasting
put it at
another month, though.
tri-state, and you can, earn 2, 3, or whatever the percentage is.
You won't
I mean,
get
I would
anything
think
that
that we
high.
would
Yeah,
want
it's
to
not
know
up
that.
to 2 or 3, just to be
It'll be
clear,
one.
we're talking about quarter percentages here on 40 grand. It's not enough money to be thinking about, but I agree with Bill, just get it going, but whatever y'all want to do, just to make it easy on you, Carol.
Okay.
I think I'd rather know what the rates are that we're getting and what local
The
institutions
rates are just terrible right now.
No, I know that.
They're
I'm-
not
but
going
what
to
I'm-
improve in the next 6 months.
I mean, if it was only 0.5%, I'd say don't bother because we're getting a quarter anyway. But if it's 1% or 2%, then it's well worth moving for short term.
I just think the board should be approving it as a whole, what institution and what, because 6 months is going to be 6 months. What difference does it make? We're not accessing the money, we're not going to keep, it's not like we're losing a month of.
So if
We're not
interest
gonna
that we
lose
paid
any
in
money.
Right, we're not losing anything by waiting another month to make that
So
decision.
we're talking
if you wanna-
$375, aren't we?
So if you want to approve the institution, you're saying, gather
Well,
the
at least we
information,
know-
we would know the next.
Am I wrong on that?
wait another
Exactly.
month.
That way we
No,
have
you're-
exactly.
I used 150
No,
and
you're
came
right
up with
there.
375 for 6 months. That's all you're talking about.
I mean, that way everybody knows, and the
Right.
public knows from the meetings, our money, 100 and whatever thousand, is at this institution earning this much money.
Right, and that way there's no surprises,
Right,
everybody knows
there's just better
exactly.
transparency that way.
Right.
Okay,
I
I'll
agree.
look into it then.
I want to ask one question unrelated to the motion. This isn't something we should just wait for, like you mentioned, crosswalk funds. It should just be funds in general that we can put in every 6 months. We should always have something, an account like this if we've got funds available. Would that not be correct? I mean,
No, I tend to agree. I mean, if it's just sitting there, if $300 is $300. If-
wherever we can, we're looking for, like, say, $300 for some wreaths or something. I mean, there it
Yeah.
is. So
Carol,
We've done it before. We've
Yeah.
moved things over to,
I
Well,
think
and
it's a
I
good
think at the
practice
village
to start.
level, we just give Sherry the permission as long as it's on the approved list and we have faith in her and we approve Sherry just doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not that she comes back to us and we approve, yes, yes, yes.
No, she did. She did. She came to us and said she was putting this much in this CD and this much in that CD. Although she did come to us annually and she gives us a list of institutions for us to approve, and
Yeah.
those are the banks that she works with. So by institution, yes, we approve that. And then she also makes her recommendations of where we should move the money. And then we voted on that.
okay, I'll call her tomorrow.
All right, so we'll have something to review at next month's.
but Zach, why are we bothering to wait?
What's that?
Why are we bothering to wait? Give her permission to
So
do
we-
what she should be doing.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily something that the treasurer's position is doing. It's not something we've been doing on a regular basis before, and it's.
Yes, what she said we have in the past.
I've done it
I'm just
a few
surprised. that we-
times
I thought-
already.
I didn't realize you had the $218,000 sitting in a checking account. You don't normally, that seems odd to me.
Well, how's it spaced out, too? It's not, it's with, how many institutions do we have our accounts with? Just one?
One, just Huntington.
Okay. I mean, Bill, if you want to, you made your motion.
Yeah, I made a motion. If no one wants to second it, it dies.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Parker, second by Tar, to just let Carol make a decision on where to put the CD in an amount, how much?
Up to 150,000. Space it any way she thinks reasonable. She's the treasurer, she can see the cash flow.
Not to exceed, in an amount not to exceed $150,000, and no.
Once I
lo-
find out, I'll email everybody so they'll know.
Okay.
So we're talking about, if you took 150 and you're getting a quarter, you're talking about $375 over 6 months. That's it.
I'm not arguing with that.
Okay.
I'm just saying from a transparency standpoint, kind of
Okay.
like what President Malzahn had stated that it's a little more, that way everybody's on the same page, everybody knows what's being approved. That was my reasoning for saying that, but. I
And
mean,
we're
we have-
setting a precedent for the next time, should it maybe be a larger amount. So I would just simply ask, I heard the term approved bank, approved institution, as long as that list is in conjunction with what the village apparently is already doing as far as research. It's on one of those lists, one of those institutions,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
So Lisa, then, we'll need to do a roll.
Okay. Parker?
Yes.
Tar?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes?
Poznanski?
No.
Malzahn?
No,
Humphreys?
I think I have to abstain. No, I can vote yes.
We don't benefit it from it personally.
Hayes?
No.
I lost my note. Who did I forget?
I believe it
Yeah, 5
carries.
yeses,
You got
2
four,
noes.
4-3.
Yeah, 4-3. You're right. So motion
Okay,
carries.
so, but you're going to email us then? Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Carol. Next up, we have the LED light upgrade. Funds pledge is not complete by 6/30/21. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this. I don't know who put it on the agenda.
I think Treasurer Humphreys put it on the agenda just to
Yeah.
say that she was going to move that money, but I did go ahead and reach out to Brandon Farren from DTE because I saw it on the agenda. He is planning on having the engineering and the scope of work plan over to us by the end of this year or January at the latest. We are still on board to have this work completed by end of spring 2021. So I told him it had to be completed by June 30th of our current fiscal year. So he said that should not be a problem. So that's the time frame. You're looking at 6 or 7 months at the
And-
most of, when this should be done.
And we have not paid for that yet?
We have not paid for that.
And how
We don't
much
even
is
have
that?
the final tally of what that, you guys submitted a flat fee, flat portion amount when we approved the budget. What's it,
Right,
40,000?
45.
Yes, and so, right, the rest of that will be picked up by the village, but we're just waiting for that final audit with the current pricing to come in from DTE.
So, okay, so in spring, we're going to be,
So.
we have a liability of 45,000. We just said we were going to put 150,000 into a 6-month
said we were-
CD.
Right, but I'll
We
do
said we're up
45 in
to
3 months.
Up to
with the
150.
renewal.
So we're going to have to, do
I'll
we have to?
break it down.
Because, that gives us, between now and then, 13,000 to work with based off what we have.
Mhm.
We're
But
okay
they
with that?
won't need it for 3 months, so we can at least get interest on it for 3 months.
Okay. All right, so no motions on that, nothing to vote on there. Next up, under new business, we've got 2021 meeting dates, which is in your packet. Looks like just a couple decisions we have to make on dates. I'm assuming because of holidays. Does anybody have any thoughts on the January and April dates, which we want to do?
So we talked about this at the village office, especially for the January date, because we get the day before, day of, and, day after for Christmas and for New Year's. And so with the holidays, Christmas and New Year's falling on a Friday, we weren't sure if it was going to roll over that day after to Monday, or if we were going to push it back and do it in between that week so that everybody's sort of back to work on Monday, the 4th. So
play it safe and go the 11th? Should we just push it back to the later, the 2 dates on both those
Well,
months?
plus, is she going to be around to even make board packets out?
Right,
You got to
yeah.
post the agenda, she's got to make packets, so the 4th doesn't seem logical to me.
4th is not going to work, so might as well make it the 11th.
All right, so we'll, do I have a motion to approve the regular meetings for 2021 as presented by accepting the January 11th date and then the April 12th date?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by President Malzahn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Humphries. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, we've got board member comments. Start over here.
My only comment is actually more of a question. I know that, Lisa, you issued some letters for the benches. We heard none have been returned yet. The investigation by the Michigan State Police is still ongoing. They are still looking for the FOIA information, just to let you know. Officer Maskey was in on Friday, apparently. I was not there. I called him today, and we've missed each other. So what's the situation with the benches?
I have returned everything that I have received. Everything that I have received through email in a packet. I've given you everything that I've got. And Kelly sent those 2 letters out. Kelly had a phone call with one of the recipients of one of the letters. I do not know what the turnout was from the phone call, but that is all that, I've given you all the information that I have.
Okay.
What is the issue with the FOIA information?
It's incomplete, right?
Okay.
We can see a trail of text messages, but yet there's no information being provided by one of the persons involved.
Okay, so I guess this is something that goes back to what we were discussing earlier with the FOIA coordinator. Is that then their job to, right now, we're in a meeting, and even though, Christine, you're sitting on this board, you're also representing the village, you're asking Lisa, our FOIA coordinator, for information, and is there a official way to go about asking for the information? Is the person who requested it, is this something that falls on Lisa now to follow up?
Lisa has given me her response, and so I will turn that information over to the Michigan State Police.
Okay, so that's the next step, and then does the DDA get a report? Nothing from there?
I do not know if
Okay.
you'll get a report on that.
Okay. Anything else?
What's a bench thing? I'm sorry, I missed, I read some of it in there, the high net of it, just like 30 seconds. What happened?
They're the old benches that were taken down when the new benches were purchased in town.
Yeah.
And they were taken down by the DPW. There was some discussion about what to do with them. And at the board level, we decided that we should at least reach out to the people who purchased those benches. There were plaques on some of them, and those plaques were, I believe, in Carl's possession. There may have been a few other people that had some.
Yeah, Carl collected all of them.
Right, and so he made contact with those families that they could track down. Not everybody, we didn't even know, some of them. And said, hey, here's your plaque, and would you be interested in a bench? There were a few that took those back. I asked for an accounting of who those families were. There were about 20 benches, and then we decided that if the people who purchased the benches weren't interested in them, we were going to donate the rest of them, mainly to the cemetery, because there's no benches up there for people to sit on. And then when the cemetery crew went to get the benches, they were all gone, except for 2 of them. So I asked for an accounting of where did the benches go? Who has the benches? Who was given permission to take a bench? And then who else just may have gone on the DPW site because they knew where they were and taken benches. So we're in the process of determining that.
Did we make an official decision as a board, aside from contacting the original donors or donor families? I don't recall if we actually made a decision as a board. It was discussed as a committee, I thought, about possibly donating it, but I don't know if it ever came to the board itself. I don't.
We just
it's-
talked about it at the board level of what
Okay.
to do. And
Gotcha.
And we suggested throwing them out to the cemetery, and it's my recollection that everybody said, yeah, that's probably a good use for them. And if the cemetery had to purchase new wooden slats because some of the wood was rotted, that we could certainly do that, but.
Okay. And you,
My
and,
memory is that most of the stuff was no longer safe, and we didn't want any responsibility for it. It was just
Right.
effectively junk.
gotcha. And Lisa, you said you didn't talk to Kelly about that
I did
in
not,
detail?
no, I did not
Okay.
talk to her about that discussion that she had with
Okay.
the
So
recipient
what
of the
we're
letter.
arguing
So
about
maybe-
is what happened to the junk.
No, I don't think that's what we're arguing about right now. I think it's just a matter of Lisa talk to Kelly and then get back with Christine as far as a final response. I don't want to speak for Kelly if she's talked to people or if she's gotten responses to these letters that, she's not here to answer those questions.
The
right?
issue is that we can't just give away village assets, no matter what it is, whether it's an old police car or something, a DPW vehicle, I mean, whatever it is, we can't just give it away. People can't just go onto the DPW site or the wastewater treatment plant and just take it because it's sitting there. We have a, responsibility to be good caretakers of village assets. So we need to make sure we know where those benches went. And if they were rightfully owned by a family member, then absolutely, they should have the bench. And if there were only 10 good ones and there were 10 people that wanted them, well, that's fine. I'm just asking for a list of who got them, and was it because they purchased them or not? We could
Similar-
also have an auction. I mean, that's what we talked about, selling them. We talked about selling the old flower pots, right?
Right.
Because we didn't just want to junk them. We
Yeah,
have a
and-
responsibility.
Okay. All right. Mr. Parker?
No.
Mr. Rose?
Nothing.
Mr. Tar?
Oh, sorry.
Ms. Poznanski? Ms. Humphries?
Good?
Lisa? Only thing I have, I just want to congratulate Megan Poznanski, Justin Parker, and Nate Bartholomew on their, as they're winning their elections for trustees. It's got some new blood in there and some old familiar faces too. So,
Thank you.
congratulations. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Support?
Second, motion by Parker, second by second by President Malzahn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.